Papoose. You really are. You have turned into a piece of shit. The gambling, the failures that you've had in your career or whatever that didn't pan out how you wanted to, has turned you into somebody else.
You're very cruel to people because you're a narcissist. She's the type of person who will say something to you, and 10 to 5 minutes later, she'll say, I didn't say that. Straight bipolar. Was diagnosed with it. You're not Cardi B, man. Let's keep it a buck. This is how phony you is.
This particular instance demonstrates how quickly things may become phony. Remy Ma and Papoose simply destroyed the entire Black Love Goals image that people were holding on to. Everything quickly went awry, and they began making disparaging remarks on social media as if it were a full-fledged rap feud. Papoose wasn't taking it lying down, and he lashed back, saying, Remy is a manipulator and an unfaithful baby. Like, what is even happening that isn't love? Remy didn't hold back when she nicknamed Papoose Dusty and claimed he was out here seeking clout just to be relevant. That is outright conflict, and they are openly disintegrating. There is no shame in sight. And now you can guess who is caught in the midst of all of this chaos.
Nobody shouldn't have any ill will towards me because I ain't do nothing to nobody. I look at it now and I feel sorry for old girl. Like, I feel sorry for her. I've told Papoose. I told them, why don't you tell this stuff? Why don't you tell your current come up? So that's what it is. Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. You are a world champion. You are accomplished. You have made it from out the ghetto, from the slums, from the depths of Flint, Michigan. You don't got no kids. You have your whole life ahead of you. But why are you attaching yourself to this 47-year-old man that doesn't have anything going, has no career, no job, no income, except for the income that he's claiming off of your percentage because he's your manager? Got you out here talking, looking crazy. He's the one that don't want to sign, don't want to get his stuff out his ex-house. Doesn't be there for his child that he begged for, but telling you he wants another one.
The one and only Clarissa Shields, the unbeaten champion without a husband or children one day. Just relaxing, and then all of a sudden, and despite the fact that he still has legal links to Remy, she has been seen getting cozy with Papa Os in the midst of this controversy. That's crazy. Despite her calm exterior, Clarissa is far too near the drama. Despite her outward smile, there is genuine stress within her. Ray is losing control, and Papoose is joining her in the turmoil. And Clarissa might actually need to use the brakes. Everything about this issue is getting hotter than a kettle about to boil. Claria was cool and collected when they inquired about her relationship with Papoose. Not to mention that she and Remy had a falling out last year. Remy believed Clarissa's team had published a dubious piece and targeted both Clarissa and Papoose. Even throughout that interview, Clarissa spoke smoothly and didn't utter anything unusual. Even while it would have been wiser to remain silent, what she said still didn't merit the outburst that followed Remy's retort. She said certain things. That caused others to raise their eyebrows, so even though it was loud, you can't deny it. However, this is when things start to become pretty heated. Clarissa isn't going to back down. She is giving it her all for Papoose, without reluctance. She launched an offensive, refuting all of Remy's assertions. Remy completely lied when she claimed that Papoose was her manager. Clarissa made it apparent that Mark Tati is her true manager, and that she doesn't fool around with her money. She even offered Papoose praise for assisting her in leveling up.
But I'm such a real one. I know the procedure when somebody goes to prison. I know the procedure. So it was never about infidelity. When I came home and I went straight through that phone immediately. I know what was up. When I had to fight baby mothers at mother-in-law's houses on Thanksgiving, I knew that girl wasn't lying about what she was saying was going on while I was there. I knew she wasn't lying. I was just mad. I just was mad. I knew she wasn't lying though. If we keeping it a bean, I knew she wasn't lying.
She claims that he helped her get actual suitcases by opening doors and that he had his own home. Leech behavior is not tolerated here. Papoose appears to be fixed in her gaze, and everything appears to be picture perfect from Claire's perspective. If he's such a catch, then why is he still dragging his feet with the divorce? Is Remy's main question, nonetheless. Additionally, it has been reported that Papoose has been waiting for months, but he abruptly begins transferring legal documents as soon as Remy publicly criticizes him. The timing seems a bit too ideal. The key question now is, who is actually clinging to Clarissa so she can go clean before she finds herself stuck in the center of this chaos with nowhere to go? Let's be honest, Remy and Papoose still have unresolved issues, and this most recent internet controversy is only another chapter in their never-ending soap opera. Their social media meltdown is not the first, and it most certainly won't be the last. For years, they had been circling this drama, but the big storm arrived when rumors began to circulate that Remy was having an affair with battle rapper Eazy The Block Captain. Yes. It is that simple. Knowing that Eazy was signed to Remy's company and that she runs a battle rap league made it much more painful.
He's telling you he want a son, right? He has a son. He has a son. He just doesn't like his son's preference, so he acts like he doesn't have a son. He has a son. We have a son. What are we talking about? I literally told my friend, they was like, yo, you think he ever gonna leave? I was like, when he finds a replacement, when he finds someone who we think he can have doing all the shit that I was doing, then he'll leave. Girl, man, don't nobody fall in love faster than somebody with nowhere to stay. I don't even know who he is today. Let me rephrase that. Because the person that I married in 2008, that's not who this is now. Now he's a wife.
The street began to buzz with rumors that Eazy was boasting about meddling with Papoose's spouse. Downright humiliation, absolute disrespect. And let's not forget that Papoose kept Remy in check when things got serious. Remy served 6 years in prison for allegedly robbing a buddy of some money. And Papoose never changed his mind. He married her while she was inside, paused his entire career, canceled performances, missed tours, and remained steadfast at her side while the globe cooled. And with adultery allegations, public backlash, and new ladies involved, this is how it's all coming to an end. This one is unsightly, and it will only grow worse. It's now becoming a heartbreaking anthem. In essence, Papoose is saying, I gave you everything. Captain Jaws struck the ground forcefully when Remy emerged and was connected to Eazy The Block. But wait, it didn't end there. Plot twist. It appears that Papoose may not have been entirely innocent either. Shortly after Remy returned home, receipts that showed he was still having an affair with one of his baby mothers began to circulate while Remy was in jail. Yes, while everyone was applauding him for remaining faithful. He may have been doing dirty work behind closed doors, but guess what Remy did? She stayed, chose to work things out, and kept the family together. She played the big guy and tried to make things better, but just when it seemed like the storm was over, Papoose dropped a bombshell of his own. He said that Remy had cheated with a woman in addition to a man, and that it had happened right inside their house with their daughter present. That's incredibly messy. That is drama on a whole other level. Even yet, Papoose remained where he was, didn't pack his things, and didn't dip. He waited, but why? In Remy's opinion, he didn't really have an option. When Remy began boasting about how she was paying all the bills, Papoose didn't like it. She said that she was the one keeping everything financially stable and that Pap had nowhere else to go. In other words, he stayed because she was the one keeping everything in check. He firmly retaliated, declaring that he was her ghostwriter in addition to being her boyfriend. Indeed, Papoose revealed that he composed 90% of her songs, including Well-known ones like Conceited, but he never received credit for them. He felt that his name ought to have been written all over those royalty checks. To be honest, I think he's real. In all honesty, he most likely wrote more songs than we are aware of. Nicki Minaj even hinted that Pat could have contributed to Sheether. Thus, it isn't a sudden development. This discomfort has been intensifying. Papoose is more than simply resentful of bars. He is heartbroken. He gave Remy his time, his devotion, and his grind, but now he feels as though she abandoned him without. A second thought is more than simply a breakup. This is a whole other kind of treachery. Papoose has a hero aura that seems to come naturally to him. A man with this savior complex strolls about, as if he must save someone in order to feel complete.
A friend that she was away with. She had a certain individual who she was locked up with. I always heard this person's name. I ain't think much of nothing. We had like a little dinner in the basement or whatever at the crib. So this is the first time I seen homegirl outside of when they was in the penitentiary together. So I see her at the crib. Okay, she stayed for a couple days. She spent the night. She tells me, I'm going to sleep in the guest room with such and such. I said, okay, that's cool. I sleep in the room by myself. Next day, same thing. I said, damn, babe, you sleeping in there again? And at this time, I'm trying to be intimate with her. When it's time to go down, she slipped out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. She go this.
He is drawn to women who have experienced suffering, ladies who have never felt secure or fully seen. He draws up shows where he lavishes them with attention, and all of a sudden, they are pampering him by supporting and financing his actions. That's his entire personality. However, Remy became weary of fulfilling that role and wanted something else. She no longer wanted to be the damsel and wasn't attempting to be saved. Presently, she is going out with Eazy, the block captain, and Papoose is asserting that she is providing Eazy with the same services that she once provided for him, supporting him financially and emotionally, much like she had done for Pap in the past, but Remy quickly put a halt to it. She rushed in to protect Eazy, especially when others began disparaging him as if he weren't real. And to be honest, I understand. In Pap's perspective, Ray is enjoying a comfortable, rent-free life. The entire Black Love Monarchy brand they established is collapsing in public. And it's not just about losing a spouse. Kay moved from being a power couple to becoming a major. Drama, but Remy also shared her side of the tale. She claims that long before Eazy ever came onto the scene, they had already moved on and that the trust had been lost. Pap claims that she cheated, but Remy claims that he did as well. In this case, isn't anyone leaving clean? The ideal couple put on a show for the cameras, maintaining appearances for their daughter. And I genuinely think that love was already on life support, but let's be honest. Papoose was also sneaking around behind the scenes during the marriage while preaching loyalty. Like a saint. Papoose said that they had made a hidden commitment to work towards reconciliation. So when Remy broke up with Eazy, it really hurt him. He felt deceived once more. It's more than simply heartbreak now. What's left of a love story that has already broken down is at odds. Papoose truly believed that they still had a chance to save what they had, and if he had taken responsibility for the bills rather than letting her bear the entire burden alone, perhaps Remy would have stayed. However, now that Pap is claiming that the only reason he left was because Remy dated Eazy, he is acting as though it's open season and even asserting that Eazy was pressuring Remy to stay as if she didn't have a mind of her own. For real, it gets even more petty.
So there's numerous times where I cashed you out and you went and bought things. With my money. With my money. You want to talk about property? We bought this house together. We bought it together. I wrote one of your biggest records, man. One of your biggest hits. So you want to downplay me as an artist, and I wrote one of your biggest hits. That's so sad. All of this money talk and all of this, and what I don't got and what I got. Since I met her, I have written 90% of the rhymes that came out of her mouth. I never asked for a penny. I never asked for credit. She was my wife. I didn't want anything from her. I just wanted to see her win. Look at the comments. They know what I wrote.
Pap began recording voicemails in an attempt to reveal Oz. If I say whatever you want, simple. But those receipts began to flood in Pap's swearing. Eazy was acting shaddily behind the scenes, and then Tasha K entered the fray saying that Eazy, also known as Z, was diming other women while she was still with Remy. This is old tea because it was back in November. The real question, though, is whether Remy is actually improving or whether she is simply stuck on repeat with a different face in the same nasty cycle since. Let's be honest, Eazy and Papoose sort of seem identical, as if she just copied and pasted the drama. Whether it's true, Z also has some cheater energy. Don't be deceived by the fact that Remy and Eazy are cheesy for the cameras. Remy is a talented performer. She worked with Papoose for years. Let's not pretend that Papooses relationship with Clarissa Shields is some innocent little romance. It might simply be his vengeance play. This new smiling act with Eazy could be an attempt to get under Pap's skin. This whole thing is becoming a crazy circus on social media. Not a lie. Pap continues to throw shade at Rhee's new partner, Remy, is retaliating immediately, claiming that he pawned her jewelry in order to obtain some fast cash. It's insane. And now that relatives are being included in it, yes, Messi is long gone now. Both of them are clearly locked in this poisonous game at this point, and neither is prepared to quit. Remy and Papoose avoid accepting actual responsibility. The more they attempt to paint one another as the villain. They both play dirty, let's face it. They are now only making online insults in the hopes that the public will choose a side and feel sorry for them. Vibes of a straight victim, clear and loud, it is disorganized. Even if it's trivial, you can't turn your head away. However, underneath all of that turmoil and public back and forth, there most likely still exists some sort of love between them. It is shrouded with controversy and betrayal. However, it is there, concealed by the headlines. Additionally, the Clarissa girl runs, but no. She is obstinate and acts as though she is riding for Papoose no matter how crazy things get. Even if Remy throws shade in her direction, she is standing 10 toes down next to him, catching strays as if it were nothing. This entire situation is a digital soap opera that would be impossible to write even if you tried. Hit the like button. If you're enjoying this drama as much as the rest of us, please leave a remark. Remember to subscribe and tell your people about this craziness. Tell me then, who is actually the messiest of all of this? Remy, tell me in the comments whether it's Pap or if they are simply mere reflections of one another in this turmoil. I'll see you in the next.